She stood at the foot of the bed, not as a shadow, not as a memory. She stood there like she had never died at all. Her eyes were steady, her face was calm, and when she spoke, her voice carried one clear message that cut through the darkness like a knife. He killed me. This was not a nightmare. This was not grief playing tricks. This was the moment a dead woman came back to accuse her husband of murder, and nothing would ever be the same again. Long before that night, before the courtroom, before the whispers and the fear, there was a small, quiet place called Greenbrier County, West Virginia. It was the kind of place where life moved slowly, where neighbors waved as they passed, where people measured time by seasons instead of clocks, where bad things were not supposed to happen, and when they did, people tried not to look too closely. In this place lived a young woman named Zona Heaster. Zona was gentle, soft-spoken, the kind of person who made others feel comfortable just by being around. She had a warm presence, the kind a mother never forgets. To her mother, Mary Jane Heaster, Zona was not just a daughter. She was a piece of her heart walking around outside her body. When Zona married Erasmus Edward Shue, people were hopeful. Edward was polite, well-dressed. He spoke well. On the surface, he looked like a man who could offer safety and stability. But sometimes, danger does not announce itself. Sometimes it smiles. Sometimes it says all the right things. And sometimes it waits until no one is watching. Only a few months into the marriage, Zona was dead. A young boy was sent to the Shue home on a simple errand. Nothing unusual, just another quiet day. When he stepped inside, he found Zona lying at the bottom of the stairs. She was not moving. She was gone. Edward was already there, holding her, crying loudly, acting the part of a grieving husband. But beneath the surface, something felt off. Not loud enough to accuse, not clear enough to stop him, just wrong enough to linger. Edward insisted on dressing Zona's body himself. That alone was strange. In those days, this was usually done by other women in the community. But Edward would not allow it. He wrapped a scarf tightly around her neck, too tightly, and when anyone came near, when anyone tried to touch her, to look closer, Edward stepped in. Always in the way, always watching. It was like he was guarding something, or hiding something. When the doctor arrived, Edward hovered so close it was hard to breathe. The doctor tried to examine Zona, but Edward would not move. He would not allow a full look at her neck. The cause of death was written down as childbirth complications, but Zona was not pregnant. So it was changed to something called an everlasting faint. That phrase sounds calm, almost poetic, but it really means this. The body stopped and no one knows why. It was a medical shrug, and the town accepted it, but Mary Jane Heaster did not. When you lose someone you love, especially a child, your world splits in two. There is the world before and the world after. Mary lived in the after, a place filled with quiet, questions, and pain that never truly sleeps. She replayed everything: the marriage, Edward's behavior, the scarf. Her heart told her something was wrong. So she prayed, not softly, not once. She prayed every night. She did not ask for comfort. She did not ask for peace. She asked for the truth. And then, one night, the truth came to her. Mary woke up and felt it immediately, that feeling you get when you know you are not alone, when the air feels heavier, when silence feels too loud. Someone was standing at the foot of her bed. It was Zona. Not pale, not broken. She looked whole, solid, calm. Mary did not scream. Grief has a strange effect on fear. Sometimes it pushes fear aside completely. Zona spoke gently, like she always had. She told her mother that Edward had been cruel, that behind closed doors the marriage was not safe, that arguments were common, that anger lived in the house with them. Then she told her what happened. One night, during a fight, Edward lost control. He grabbed her, and he snapped her neck. To show her mother the truth, Zona turned her head and twisted it all the way around, like a doll with a broken hinge. Mary watched, frozen, as the impossible happened. Then Zona was gone, but she came back, night after night, 4 nights in a row. Each time the same story, the same calm voice, the same terrible truth. Mary did not question it. She believed her daughter. When morning came, Mary went to the authorities. At first, they listened politely, the way people do when they don't really believe you. A grieving mother, a ghost story. It was easier to nod than to act. But Mary did not waver. She spoke with certainty, with clarity, with the kind of conviction that does not come from imagination. Finally, they agreed to exhume the body. Exhume is a word that sounds clean, but it is not. It means digging someone back up after they have been laid to rest. It means reopening grief. It means admitting you might have been wrong. When they examined Zona's remains, the room went quiet. Her neck was broken, not from a fall, not from an accident. It was exactly as Mary had been told. Edward Shue was arrested. The town buzzed with tension. The man who once smiled and waved was now sitting in a cell. People wondered how they missed it. Others wondered if the ghost story had gone too far. Then came the trial. Edward's defense tried to tear Mary down. They questioned her sanity, her grief, her story, and that was their mistake. Mary told the jury everything. She spoke of the nights, the visits, the message, the twisted head. She did not exaggerate. She did not perform. She spoke like a mother telling the truth about her child. The judge allowed it, not because the court believed in ghosts, but because the story explained why Mary pushed so hard for justice. The jury listened. They watched Edward, and in the end, they believed her. Edward Shue was found guilty and sentenced to life in prison. All because a mother refused to let her daughter's voice disappear. To this day, people still argue about what really happened. Was it truly a ghost? Or was it a mother's intuition finally finding a way to be heard? Zona's gravestone still stands, and it mentions her ghost. The only known case where the dead helped speak for themselves. But here is the question that still lingers, long after the trial, long after Edward was locked away. If Mary had not listened, if she had brushed it off as a dream, if she had chosen peace over truth, would anyone have ever known how Zona really died? And how many other voices are still waiting to be heard in the dark?